Alright, really long time no video. I've actually got my internet connection in my house now, back on Infinity. It's been about 7 weeks or so without broadband, even though I uploaded a quick unboxing video of the Nexus 4. I wanted to share my thoughts with you. And I don't really know where to begin because it's been such a long time since I did anything like this, and I know it's still quite hard to get hold of, it's still quite rare, it's still quite difficult to get hold of in the Play Store and stuff, but what I've been doing is I've been carrying it around with me and the Note 2. I've had them both with me, so there we have it. It's quite a pocketful having both these devices. Now I still prefer the Note 2 because it's got better battery, better looking screen, bigger screen and all that stuff. But having said that, I find myself going to this all the time because it's a little bit smaller and it's a bit easier to move on the go. It looks a lot nicer and more stylish. It's got the glass on the back and the front, obviously. And it feels, I've never had an LG phone before, but it feels really, really solid. There's things I do like about it and there's things I don't like about it. So let's start with the things that I don't particularly like about it. If you're going to buy them, you're going to invest in it, you can get for like 270 quid, 280, something like that for the 16 gig, which is really good. If you're tied into a contract and you fancy a change, I do recommend it. I think when all said and done, it's worth buying. But things to bear in mind is, it is raw Android, so there's no, it's all software buttons on the bottom, there's nothing particularly fancy about it. It's quite raw. You can't pinch to get to all the screens. The drop down menu, well, you've got this little shortcut. I mean, you probably know all that. You know what Android is, I'm saying, but if you're used to the HTC devices or the Samsung devices that aren't Nexus, obviously there's one of each at least that are Nexus devices, it's raw Android is a lot more cut down, but you get the updates quicker and it's less bloated and it's nice to use. It's just feels a bit quicker. Now this thing flies. It really is nice and fast to use. So what I didn't like about it was the battery life. I thought was poor. Now I'm comparing the battery life to this beast, but even having said that, if I was battering it for 4 hours after a full charge, it'd be way down to like 50%. Something like that. Now at the moment it is currently down to 90. I've had it on for 19 hours 8 minutes. You can see that's a fairly sharp drop. Took a few photos today, been out and about. The screen has been on for 2 hours 13 minutes, which isn't a lot really. Now since I got 4.2.2 it's been a lot better, but generally speaking, to get a full day out of it, if you're going to be gaming and you're going to be emailing and texting and ringing, although ringing is the least of your problems, it's probably uses least battery on that. You're not, out of all the Android handsets I've had, which is about 5 or 6 now, this is the worst battery. And it's a sealed battery, you can't get to it or upgrade it easily. You might be able to get a case with a booster on it. But I still think it's software related. I think it's about 2,000 milliamp hours or something, and I know the Note's got an extra 1,100 on that. So it's going to be better. I'm not stupid, well I am stupid, but I know that it's going to be better. But I just think, I feel like I'm charging it a lot more than I have with any other handset. So something to bear in mind. Now obviously it's quite cheap in comparison to all the others, but it is blazingly quick. It does a lot of what you want to do on all the other handsets, and so it's worth having. I'm not saying don't get it, I'm just saying be mindful. In my experience and a lot of other experience that I've had with other people, the battery isn't phenomenal. If you're going to use it as a media player, if you get like one audio file that's not quite, I forget the term exactly, a friend of mine uses it and he said there was like a slightly corrupted audio file and it seems to batter the battery more so than ever. Again, this update has patched it a little bit and made it much better than it was, but it's still not amazing. Okay, so bear that in mind. Another thing that I'm not so keen on, which is always my pet hate, because I am a Samsung fanboy or whatever you want to call me, I really like the AMOLED, the black AMOLED screens. Now this has got excellent viewing angles on it and stuff, but I'm just spoiled by Super AMOLED. I just prefer it. I prefer it a lot more. The screen is great. You're never going to be struggling. You've got good viewing angles on it and stuff. The blackness. I mean, it's unfair to say it's a bad point because it's not a bad screen. Higher resolution than the Note, I think, because it's less, it's of a smaller area. But I just find myself, I kind of blame the screen for the battery drain a little bit. Whether that's fair or not, I don't know. But you compare them side by side, the screen on the Note 2 just blasts out the sharp colours, and you can't see it on this, of course you can't, but I don't know, I know some people say that the Super AMOLED is a bit cartoony and a bit too much, but I find it brilliant. I really, really like it, so I don't think it's going to stop anyone from buying it. This is purely my opinion, obviously. Camera in this thing is pretty subpar. I find myself reaching for the Note camera rather than this one. It does take pictures, don't get me wrong. It's certainly no iPhone replacement. The Lumia camera beats it as well. It's a camera, it's alright. I don't really know what the spec of it is off the top of my head, if it's 8 megapixel or not. Front camera as well, they both do the job. It's just, it doesn't make you think, oh, awesome. It doesn't make you think, wow, what a brilliant picture. It's just distinctly average. So those of you that the camera is important on a phone, bit of a letdown on this one really. Again, I'll reach for anything else. Do carry the Galaxy camera with me, so that obviously I'm going to use that. I'm going to take a big, decent picture. But if I just want a quick phone picture, I'll always use the Note camera. It's a lesser known fact that the Note camera is very, very, very good. You tap on it, the autofocus on the Note is much, much better than this. I just think the camera was a real letdown for me. Even though you can do the sphere picture and all the other stuff that's quite neat, you need a lot of light and it just produces mediocre shots, in my opinion. One other thing to mention as well is, although I say it's fast at whipping through screens, etc. and performing, I do find, and I have read this, or whether I've been a bit tainted by it, that the touch screen isn't that sensitive. So I'm actually physically touching it. Oh, actually move them. I just find there you go, I'm touching it there. I just find that sometimes, see, that's not sensitive enough for me, that. Fingers touching the glass. I have to put quite a bit more pressure on. Like again, it's not a world ending, you can't have it because of this. You'll find sometimes, especially when you're typing on the keyboard, and then obviously the letters pop up. If you just glance over a letter, pressing F, pressing F, pressing F, pressing F a little bit harder, it pops up. So something to bear in mind. I don't know what it is, but when the phone's off and you look at the screen, you can actually see squares. You can see like the digitizer, the touch screen bit, which again, it's probably because of the price of the phone. It doesn't stop you using it, but I just think, you know, when again with the Note, the other phone I use all the time, the lightest little touch and you're off. It's working. It's responding to the letters. With the keyboard, you're punching away typing. It does make you miss letters because you're just giving that ever so light sort of tapping on the keyboard, the screen, and it's noticeable. So you deliberately press a little bit harder than you would have to on your other phone. So camera, nah. Touch screen, nah. That's about it really. I mean, for the bad sides of it, you're talking battery life, and I'm not mad keen on the screen technology, but that doesn't mean it's a bad screen. Kind of not making sense here, I know. Good points is the battery life, the build. The good points is the price, the build quality, the shape, the size. It's comfy, it looks good, it feels nice. But I just think that you'll find yourself charging it more than you charge anything else. I didn't have a Galaxy Nexus. In fact, the only other Nexus I had was a Nexus 7. So, and obviously that's not a telephone. But I do find myself going to, if I'm going to reach for a phone in my pocket, I'll find myself going for this more. Mainly to me it's a small phone because I've been spoiled with the extremely large Note 2. But realistically speaking, it is still a big phone. I like the pure and simple ease of use and the speed of it, and the fact that it's not bloated with anything else. I like how responsive it is. I think it's a lovely piece of kit. But you're going to need a desk charger at work, or plug it into your car if you're travelling and stuff, because you will find yourself juicing it up and stuff a lot. Google now, it's got everything Jelly Bean obviously has got, and I'm not going to show you anything that you don't know about. I can't find anything new and quirky other than the extra when you pull down with one finger you get the menu, with 2 fingers you get the settings. That will probably integrate into all the other versions later on. I think it's a bargain basically. For what you pay for it, it's an absolute bargain, but it's just a shame that they didn't shoehorn a bigger, I mean I would rather have a thicker phone, coffee shakes, thicker phone with a bigger battery than just this obsession with thinness. It's about the same thickness, I would say, give or take. It's pretty much exactly the same thickness as the Note, but if I had to choose just to keep one, it's still this is still the champion. It is the best Android handset I've ever had. Some will agree, some will disagree. I've still got this brick, this Lumia thing, which I'm going to be getting rid of because I really don't like it. I actually did a factory reset on this the other day so that I could do some tests with it at work on the browser that's built into it, and it bricked it, it froze it, it locked up. I had to take it back to Nokia to get it fixed. Getting thicker and chunkier and stronger. This isn't a comparison video by any means, I'm just saying that out of all the phones I've had, Android or not, iPhones, whatever, this is still the winner. Now I have ordered this Sony Xperia Z. Now that's out on the 28th of February, it's supposed to be with me this Friday, Thursday, Friday, so I'll do an initial review of that, or initial thoughts of it, and then I've got high hopes for it to knock the crown off this one. Sony Xperia, I've never had a Sony phone before. I've had Sony Ericsson in the past and never been blown away. They always seem to be playing catch up, but this Xperia Z, I think, is going to do it. I think it's going to go the distance. 30 megapixel camera, waterproof and all that. So we're going to do some proper tests with that, and I'm going to try and get more videos out now. I've got no excuse not to. I've got the internet connection, I'm in a new place. Yeah, this background might be a bit distracting. I don't know where I'm going to put the camera yet and stuff. And yeah, there'll be more where it's just the phone, you don't need to look at me. I don't know why you need to see me. I am starting to ramble quite a lot now, but let's go back to the subject in hand. The phone itself is well worth the money, but it's not the best battery, it's not the best screen in my opinion. You will miss features like little shortcuts and extras and TouchWiz stuff or Send stuff if you're used to HTC or Samsung or any of the others that have got their own skins over there, including Sony, which I'm not even sure what they're called or how theirs works until I get mine next week. But if you're in the market for an Android, especially if you've never had one before, it's good to get on board with the Nexus because there's nothing to sort of pollute the pure Android experience. I know certain people only like that. They don't like the bloatware with the S Pen and the extra bits that slow it down and stuff, but very good handset. I'm going to give it 7 out of 10. But that might sound like a low score. Definitely worth the money, but I can see some people thinking, not good enough battery life, and expecting a bit more. If you've got a Galaxy Nexus, it's not worth upgrading. I didn't have the Galaxy Nexus, but I've compared them, seen them side to side. It's not a big enough leap. When they announced it, I was like, this looks interesting, and when I got it, if I'd have already had the G-Nex, I would have just been like, yes, but no thank you. It's not a big enough leap, in my opinion. So stick to your Galaxy Nexus, skip this one, see what the next one has to offer. If you've never had an Android phone before and you're in the market and you're stuck in a contract and you don't want to splash out 500 quid on an unlocked Note 2 or something else, give it a go. My general consensus is just buy it because it's good, or don't buy it because it's not good. It's up to you at the end of the day, but I really do think it's worth the money. Obviously only from the Google Play Store. Buying it from anywhere else, especially SIM-free, you're talking 400-500 quid. Rip off. You want to get it from the Google Play. I think stocks are filling up a little bit now, so it's going to be easier to get hold of. It's still a little bit scarce. I think the 8 gig one's available in the store at the minute, but you're definitely going to have to go for the 16, because if you're not sure already, or you didn't know already, you can't expand the memory in a Nexus. It's all about cloud storage and what you've got built into the device. That's it really. Not made a video in a while, so probably more ramblier than usual. I don't know, but I'm going to call it a day there, and I probably may watch this back and then think, that's not worth uploading, I'm talking garbage and I've repeated myself too many times. But anyway, I'll speak to you all later. Look forward to the Xperia Z review. It will be coming up, the initial viewing, the initial video, next weekend sometime maybe, and then I'll use it for a week, do a video, use it for a month, do a video, and then do a comparison to the Note and see if it can make me. Because believe it or not, I don't have to have a Samsung phone, I just want a good one. So anyway, I'm going to stop now. Take care now, bye bye then.